It's like a bad dream. I still can't believe it. My driver's license taken away, and I had to sell my car. And now I've got a police record. All for what? A couple of drinks and trying to be a big man. If only I'd known what I was getting into.
About the time the caveman discovered fire, he also discovered firewater, alcoholic beverages, beer, wine, liquor. Yes, they've been around quite a while. They've caught on, and they're here to stay. They're easy to come by for anyone, adult or teenager. And because of these facts, teenagers face one of the most important decisions of their lives. Should they wait until they are legally old enough to drink, or to beat the law? Sure, there are two sides to everything, even alcoholic beverages. Let's start with how alcohol affects your body. Because alcoholic beverages are made from fruits and grains, they are, in a true sense, food. But because they contain no vitamins or minerals and are extremely high in calories, they are one of the poorest forms of food. And yet, millions of adults will have one or more drinks today and experience no physical harm whatsoever. Some doctors believe alcoholic beverages are the safest tranquilizers readily available to man, that they calm nerves, stimulate the appetite, make laughter come free and easy. 8 out of 10 adults drink alcoholic beverages for these reasons. And most of these adults, the smart ones anyway, respect alcohol just as they do a sharp knife or a loaded rifle. They handle it carefully, gently. This means moderately. Even so, 1 out of 5 of today's adults don't touch it at all, and they are happy and successful. Perhaps you drink whenever you feel like it. You always feel great physically and mentally. Don't fool yourself. Alcohol has its bad side. It can do plenty of harm if used excessively or illegally. Like narcotics, cigarettes, or even candy, alcohol can be used to the degree that it becomes habit-forming, and the grip with which it holds its victims is extremely difficult to break. As a result, 5% of the adult drinkers are alcoholic dependents and must drink to get through the day. Of course, not everyone who drinks will become an alcoholic. But unless you, today's teenager, know what alcohol is and what it can do, 1 in 15 of you may become an alcoholic. There's only one thing worse. If some night you're foolish enough to wolf down an excessive amount of alcohol all at once, suddenly inject too much alcohol into your bloodstream, then there will be no tomorrow. And not much of today. Everything will stop for good. But how about just a couple of drinks? What happens? How will they affect you? After entering your stomach, a small amount of alcohol passes through the stomach walls and into the bloodstream. The blood carries it along to your liver, which oxidizes it. The liver can safely handle about half an ounce of alcohol an hour. But if you drink more than your liver can handle, some of the alcohol will pass through unoxidized and is pumped to the brain. From bottle to brain takes only a minute or so, and then it starts. There's a warming sensation, and your first impression is that you are physically stimulated. And you are, but just for a minute. The minute it takes for the alcohol to reach your brain. Then the opposite is true. The anesthetic begins to work. The alcohol acts like an anesthetic or depressant, like ether or chloroform. The only difference is that alcohol is slower. It slows your reflexes. At the same time, it begins working on your physical senses, numbing the parts of the brain that control vision, coordination, speech. Yes, excessive alcohol can turn your reflexes and coordination to molasses. Every part of your body is affected. Well, that's the bad side, of course, but that's not all. In fact, it's just the beginning.
Where should I put these? Throw everything in there. Okay.
We had such a great time today. I hate to see it all end. Yeah, do we have to go home?
Yes, Chief. Anybody got any good ideas? Hey, I got it. Why don't we go to Topper's?
Marvelous idea, my good man. I do believe it's cocktail time.
Lots of luck. I hear the hard-nosed who runs the place will check your age even for a glass of water. And you better be the legal age, or else. What a jerk.
He really has it in for teenagers, the old grouch.
Well, in that case, we have to use my secret weapon, which I stole from her sister and my brother, who were masterfully forged by me. And you, Ron, babe, are 22. What am I going to do about these? Just keep your big mouth shut.
Let's get going.
Now be sure to memorize the names on your ID cards and the addresses and telephone numbers. If you can't rattle them off, the bartender will know you're trying to pull something.
Hey, isn't it against the law to use false identification to buy a drink?
Are you kidding, Ron? You're breaking the law if you just order a drink before you're the legal age. Using false ID just brings the axe down a little harder.
And that's not all. If you con a bartender into selling you a drink before you're old enough, the law boils him alive.
world, doesn't it? We lie, give him false identification, get him to break the law, and what does the law do? Rake him over the coals. Being a teenager sure does have its advantages.
Hey, look. Let's just order a Coke and a sandwich. I don't want to get anyone in trouble.
And I don't particularly like the idea of going to jail either.
Hey, man, don't worry about it. No one ever gets caught, and no one's ever going to get hurt.
That's right. Nothing's going to happen. We wouldn't hurt anyone. Get ready. Here she comes. Good evening. Did you care to see menu?
No menu, just cocktails.
I'll have to check your age here.
Well, we're all 21.
That's right. Here, take a look. I have my driver's license. You look awfully young to have been in the Marines.
Yeah, I guess I do. Want me to tell you some war stories?
No stories, just prove that you're old enough. You've got it. We're not trying to pull anything.
What more can we show you?
It's the truth, no kidding.
Okay. May I have your order, please? I'd like a Tom Collins, please.
I'll have an old-fashioned.
Bacardi. Rum and Coke, please.
All right.
I don't believe it.
I didn't think we could do it.
Me either.
Besides affecting you physically, alcohol affects you psychologically. It numbs the parts of your brain which control your judgment and inhibitions. It weakens the control that your better judgment has over your actions. Many times, just the desire for alcohol warps your judgment because you have to lie to get it. If there's a good side to the effects of alcohol upon your psychological makeup, your judgment and behavior, it might be the experience of visiting the world of unreality. Alcohol makes you feel good, you say. Like a king, as if you're on top of the world. You're way out. Your fears vanish. Nobody can touch you. Nothing can bother you. You found the perfect escape.
Get by your window.
Maybe alcohol makes you feel grown up, sophisticated. Everyone notices you, and this makes you feel important. No longer shy or alone. You're the life of the party, and everyone loves and admires you.
Kept that up all night.
Perhaps when you drink, you become confident, afraid of nothing. You can handle any situation. Nothing is too big for you to tackle and win. And you want the whole world to know it.
Am I right?
Yeah. Right.
Let teenagers make their own laws.
Yeah. Right.
Parents should always be obeyed.
Wrong.
There's only one problem. None of it is true. None of it is real. Nothing will change. Everything will stay just as it is. The alcohol just distorts your thinking. And when the alcohol wears off, everything will be as it was. When you drink illegally, you are merely showing your instability, your immaturity, that your character is weak, that you lack self-control, that you want to escape from reality and you use alcohol as a mask to hide from the world around you. Or you're not strong enough to stand up to everyday problems, so you use alcohol to give you courage, use it as a crutch to lean on. You are showing the world that you can't shoulder the responsibilities of youth, making it obvious that you'll certainly not be able to bear the much heavier responsibilities of adulthood, that you're a loser before you even get to the starting line, adulthood. What's so magical about 21? Nothing. But it is the legal dividing line between youth and adulthood. The best minds in the nation, men and women, who once were young themselves, have learned through trial and error that 21 is the best age at which to draw the line. So they ask you to wait until you are that old before you decide what you wish to do about alcoholic beverages. Smart people do not take chances when the odds are heavily against them, just for a drink before they reach legal age. But some people don't play it smart. They drink illegally, then they break another law, driving while under the influence of alcohol. And there is no good side to this. You've heard that alcohol and driving don't mix? Well, they do, like dynamite and fire, but the same results. It takes only 3 or 4 drinks to read the best driver's performance by 20 to 30%. Any driver, teenager or adult, who has 2 drinks is 3 times more likely to have an accident than one who has no drinks. Physically, alcohol dulls your reflexes. Though your reaction time may be slowed only a fraction of a second, this is more than enough time to make you accident prone. At just 30 miles an hour, your car travels 44 feet in 1 second. But you don't worry about this when drinking excessively, because alcohol takes over the part of your brain which regulates your common sense. As little as 0.03% of alcohol in your blood gives you this false sense of confidence. Last year, 2,000 persons were killed by teenagers who had a steering wheel in their hands and an excessive amount of alcohol in their stomachs. And many teenagers paid the penalty for driving while under the influence of alcohol.
Extend your arms, sir, shoulder height. Close your eyes, tilt your head back. With the index finger I specify, touch the tip of your nose. With the left finger. With the right finger. Okay, you may drop your hands.
Sit down. Now, sir, I want you to put this mouthpiece in your mouth and blow at least 5 to 10 seconds. We need a sample of the deep lung air in order to get an accurate test.
It isn't much of a job to find out where you'd been drinking. As the result of selling alcoholic beverages to minors, even though you presented evidence that you were old enough to drink, the liquor license of the business is revoked, and a sizable fine is levied against the owner. Under such a financial burden, the owner in many cases is forced out of business. His employees must find new jobs.
What are we going to do about the horse and dryer?
I'll go down to the store and see if I can cancel it. Now that the bar is closed, we'll have to cut back on our spending.
A hard-nosed who runs the place checks your age. What a jerk.
But worst of all, we won't be able to send Gene back to school in the fall.
He has it in for teenagers, the old grouch.
I'll go see Charles this afternoon. He might know of a bartender's job that's open. Doesn't seem fair, does it?
No person under the legal age shall order, pay for, share the cost of, or attempt to purchase any intoxicating liquor.
That's not. The penalty for buying alcoholic beverages before being of legal age is just as severe. Possessing it is a crime and subject to a stiff fine and imprisonment. And just as importantly, it is the start of a police record which stays with and haunts the violators the rest of their lives. Colleges are already crowded.
Will you kindly step forward, please?
What do you think a police record will add to their chances of admittance? Employers are sure to check a job applicant's background. They can afford to be choosy. And employment with the government almost always demands an unblemished background. Acceptance and promotions in the armed services are based on a clean record. Alcohol has a good side and a bad side. Trying to beat the law isn't smart. Prisons and reformatories are full of men and women who have tried and failed. Remember, the message in every bottle is your particular state's laws about drinking. Every state has them, including a minimum age you must be to legally drink alcoholic beverages. And for anyone who breaks these laws, every state has severe penalties, fines, imprisonment, loss of driver's license, any or all of these. Know your state's drinking laws. You've seen both sides of illegal drinking. Now is the time for you to make your decision.